Welcome to the Tom Waller podcast. Just about to go live on the podcast. I'm going to start doing these on the YouTube live too. So I hope it works. Me and technology, nowhere near as good as me and spines, but let's see what we can do. So I'm just going to start recording over here and just do a little test for us. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Well, it looked like that works. So let's get going. Let's press record. Welcome back to the Tom Waller podcast. Great to be with you again on this beautiful day. It's Friday. It's a windy day here in Lincolnshire. And today I want to talk about why is it taking you more than 2 minutes? Why is it taking you more than 2 minutes to do a chiropractic adjustment? Now, from a patient point of view, we may be thinking that 2 minutes, God, that's a short space of time to pay for an adjustment. But I want to unpick that a little bit today. And I want to say to the chiropractor, if you're taking more than 2 minutes to do your adjustment, you are wasting your patient's time. You are potentially doing harm more than good and not having the impact in this world and your community that you could have as a chiropractor. BJ Palmer said, the writer of these beautiful green books, of which you can't see all of them on my bookshelves, but BJ Palmer, who was the developer of chiropractic, said something along the lines of, if we just adjusted all the people in the world, we clear the mental asylums and we clear the prisons. And what he was getting at here is that chiropractic has an amazing potential to impact and change the lives of everybody. And how is that possible? How is that possible? Because not everybody has back pain. And why are you coming to us if you don't have back pain? And I want to get through that. I want to get through this understanding that we need to rub-a-dub-dub, clickety-pop, and make people feel better straight away. Than really understanding why people heal straight away. So the chiropractic adjustment is a beautiful, artful, specific, intentional delivery of a destructive force to somebody's spine. It is a destructive force. Now, you might go to the most loving chiropractor in the world if you're a patient listening to this, or you might be the most caring chiropractor on planet Earth. But every time you deliver a physical adjustment to the body, and we're talking about osseous movement here, you are delivering a destructive force. How is that even possible? What do you mean here, Tom? Well, if we go back to the understanding and we look at the 33 principles and we look at constructive and destructive forces. Constructive forces are those forces that happen within the body, within living objects, that grow them and build them up and give them life. Destructive forces are any forces that happen outside of a living object. They are always destructive. I open the show by saying it is a windy day here in lovely Lincoln, and that wind that is blowing through the trees is a destructive force. As my camera starts to find me again, is a destructive force. So that destructive force is blowing the leaves off the trees, blowing branches to the floor, and you know what? It's a good thing. Although it's destructive, it's a good thing. It's getting rid of the dead wood. It's allowing the mulch to come down to the ground to start the process again, moving into winter to regenerate and come up again in the spring. But destructive forces are always destructive. So when you deliver a chiropractic adjustment, as you put your hands on a patient and you push, is that force inside you or is that force outside of you? The force is outside, and therefore it is a destructive force. So every time you put your hands on a patient and deliver a thrust, it is destructive in nature. The egotistical chiropractor will tell you that they are moving that bone back into position, and that is not true. Because the only person who can affect change within their body is themselves. The only thing that can affect change within your body is you. You can push on the bone and it may move a little bit, but will it stay there? That is determinant upon you and your preset habits. Your preset habits are fixed way up in the neurology within your brain. And that neuroplastic change that arrives from the physical adjustment is what we stimulate with the force that we put in. So really, when it comes to an adjustment, there's a couple of things we need to understand. We need to honor the patient in front of us. We need to honor the fact that that patient's body has the ability to heal, and it knows better than you as the chiropractor what will affect that healing. We then can do nothing more than put a force in with love, with intention, in a specific place, and then let the body go to work and do it for itself. So if you're coming into a body and you're adjusting multiple segments, you're putting multiple destructive force into the body. The reason a human being becomes sick, the only reason a human being becomes sick, is because their body cannot adapt to the world around it. Your putting of multiple destructive force into a human body puts more stress upon that human being, which makes it harder for that human being to adapt, which potentially increases the level of harm that can be done. Whereas if you put one or two intentional specific adjustments into the human body and left it alone, the body now has the potential to take that force, adapt, and heal. And an adjustment should be delivered very quickly in a short space of time, specifically with intention. So how do we reduce that time? With practice, with spending time in assessment, with having a procedure to find the subluxation. The more you push on a spine to find where it's restricted, the more you move a patient through passive and active ranges of motion, the more destructive force you're putting into them. Those motions that you are creating are destructive forces. So the more physical assessment that you do in each individual visit increases the potential for harm. If you went right back to your new patient assessment and said to yourself, what are some very effective measures that I can do to determine how well this body is functioning? Got stuff all over my t-shirt until I've got a young daughter. For those of you listening online, that just made no sense. But what are some specific things that you can do to affect change or to find out where change is needed? Things like heart rate variability. How well is that body adapting will tell you whether you can put more or less force into the body. X-rays will tell you where that spine is and how it can be encouraged into the right position. Postural distortions and posture pictures, muscle testing, all these things that you can learn will help you determine where the subluxations are. And then understand that the process of someone getting better is to little and often over a long period of time. So the next time you take a patient in front of you, ask yourself, do I want to do harm or do I want to do good? Get your ego off the bench, because your ego and your insecurities will tell you to do more. Your ego and your insecurities will tell you to do more. I think I need to do more so the patient feels like I'm giving them the best. Your certainty in less will breed as competence in your ability to get them well. And as Fred Barge said, he heals in he who has the most trust. If you can get the patient to trust you through your competence and your certainty, less is more. So I'm going to encourage you this week as you go into practice to pause, to think, to assess, gently, adjust specifically, and ask yourself, did that take more than 2 minutes? I hope you got something from this. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. We've got some really cool chiropractors lined up for some interviews on the podcast. We've got Alex Schmelnick, we've got Stepan Gospodinov, and we've got Dean Black lined up. some amazing chiropractors coming into the show, so make sure you stay tuned for them. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Let's end there.